Before we dive into this AI tool review that will provide clear insights, make sure to subscribe to the channel as we upload new tool review podcasts every day.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a deep dive into Phrase.io, an AI tool that's supposed to make creating SEO-friendly content a breeze.
That's the big promise, at least.
Yeah, and we've got a super detailed review here, so we're going to really get into it and see if it lives up to all the hype.
Right. There are some features like the content score and the outline builder that sound really intriguing, potentially real game changers for content creators.
Okay, so for someone who's maybe thinking, why can't I just do my own research and write my own stuff?
Yeah.
What's the big deal with Phrase.io? What does it really offer?
Well, it seems like the main strength of Phrase.io is that it can handle a lot of that, tedious stuff that comes with content creation, especially when it comes to SEO. It kind of automates and streamlines a lot of it.
Okay, I am kind of intrigued now. So walk me through it. How does this actually work?
Imagine you're writing an article about, let's say, the best hiking boots, right?
Okay, yeah.
Instead of going down the Google rabbit hole for hours, Phrase.io has this outline builder. It goes and looks at all the top ranking articles for that topic, best hiking boots in this case, and it suggests all these relevant subtopics you should cover.
So it's like, hey, people are searching for this. You should probably include this in your article if you want to rank well.
Exactly. Stuff like waterproof versus breathable, ankle support for different terrains, best brands for budget hikers, that kind of thing.
So it's almost like having a research assistant who already knows what Google, or more importantly, what readers are looking for.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just the outline part. The review gave Phrase.io like a 5 out of 5 rating for being user-friendly. And then once you actually start writing, there's this content score feature that kicks in. It gives you feedback in real time about how well your content is optimized for SEO.
Okay, so no more wondering, did I hit all the right keywords? Did I structure my headings correctly? So tell me a little bit more about this content score. How does it actually work? What's it looking at?
Well, it basically compares your article to those top ranking articles we talked about for your keyword. And it looks at things like keyword density, how you structured your headings, how long your content is, even readability.
Oh, wow.
And the cool thing is the score is constantly updating as you write, so you can immediately see the impact of any changes you make.
That is pretty neat. Although, I have to admit, I'm always a little wary of getting too hung up on a score, Does it ever feel like it could stifle creativity, like you're just trying to please the algorithm and not actually write something engaging?
I get that. It's definitely a valid concern, and it's something to think about with any SEO tool, really. I mean, the point isn't to just blindly follow every suggestion, right? It's more about using that feedback as a guide to make sure you're covering those essential elements, but still keeping your own unique voice and style.
Makes sense. It's all about finding that balance,
Yeah.
optimizing for the search engines, but still writing for actual humans.
Exactly. And, Phrase.io even tries to address that human side of things with its AI writer feature.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I was wondering about that. Everyone's talking about AI writing these days, but is it any good? Like, what can this AI writer actually do?
You can think of it as a supercharged writing assistant. It can help you generate content ideas, write drafts, and even just complete sections of text. The review highlighted how it can write all kinds of stuff, from blog posts to marketing copy, even social media updates.
Wow, that's a lot. So it's not necessarily about replacing human writers, right?
Yeah.
More about maybe taking care of some of those repetitive tasks so you could focus on the bigger picture.
That's the idea, freeing up your time so you can focus on the strategy, the editing, really refining your message so it truly resonates with your audience.
I like that. Okay, so Phrase.io seems like it's got some pretty impressive capabilities here. But the review did mention some downsides too, right? There's got to be a catch somewhere.
Well, yeah, no tool is perfect, right? One thing the review mentioned is that there might be a bit of a learning curve, especially for people who haven't really used AI writing tools before. Some of the features, like the content score analysis, can get kind of detailed. And even though the interface is generally user-friendly, it might still take a little time to really get comfortable with everything.
I can see that. No one wants to spend hours trying to figure out how to use the tool when they should be creating content.
Yeah.
Anything else to watch out for?
Cost could definitely be a factor. The review said that while they have a free trial so you can test it out, the paid plans might be a bit much for some people, especially maybe smaller businesses or individual creators who are on a tight budget.
So maybe it's more geared towards people who are really serious about upping their content game and have the budget to invest in a more robust tool.
Yeah, potentially. The review did say that some features might be more advanced than what a casual user would actually need, so it really depends on your goals and how much SEO optimization you're aiming for.
Right, that makes sense. So, powerful tool, lots to offer, but some things to be aware of. Before we get into pricing and alternatives, let's dig a little deeper into the pros and cons. What are some of the specific advantages that the review highlighted?
Well, on top of all that advanced AI stuff, the comprehensive SEO tools and that user-friendly interface we were talking about, the review praised Phrase.io's customer support. They said it's really responsive and helpful, which is always a good sign, right?
Definitely.
And they seem to be really good about keeping things up to date, adding new features, and making improvements regularly.
Okay, that's reassuring, especially when you're investing in something that's constantly evolving like this.
Yeah.
All right, let's flip the coin. What about the cons? Besides the cost and the potential learning curve, were there any other downsides the review pointed out?
Yeah, one big one is that Phrase.io is entirely dependent on having an internet connection.
Oh, okay.
So if you're someone who works offline a lot, that could be a deal breaker.
Yeah, for sure.
And even though it supports multiple languages, it's still somewhat limited compared to some other tools out there.
So not quite a universal solution yet.
Right. And the review also pointed out that while Phrase.io is great for SEO, it might not be the best tool for every single aspect of content creation.
Yeah,
Like if you're really focused on visual content or social media marketing, you might find other tools that are better suited for those specific needs.
It's about picking the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
Phrase.io sounds like a real powerhouse for research, outlining, writing, and SEO. But it might not be the one-stop shop for every single content creation need. But I'm curious, how does it actually handle, like, long-form content? Can it really write full-fledged articles?
The review specifically mentioned that it can handle up to 30 optimized articles per month, which is pretty impressive.
Wow, okay.
And it's not even counting shorter stuff like blog posts or social media updates. So yeah, it seems like it's definitely geared towards people who need to produce a lot of content consistently.
That's a good point. Okay, so for content teams, agencies, anyone with a lot on their plate, Phrase.io could be a huge help. But before we get too carried away, let's talk pricing. What are the options if you decide to commit? Okay, so let's break it down. Are there options for people who want to, dip their toes in the water before they commit?
Yeah, for sure. Phrase.io has a free trial that gives you access to some of the main features so you can kind of get a feel for the interface and see if it works for you before paying anything.
Free trials.
Yeah.
Always a win. So what about if you do decide to go all in? What are the paid options?
Well, they have two main paid plans, Basic and Team.
Okay.
The basic plan is $45 a month, or you can get it for $38 a month if you pay for the whole year up front.
Okay.
And that gives you a bunch more features and lets you create more SEO documents than the free trial.
Gotcha. So that sounds like it could be good for maybe solopreneurs, smaller businesses who are just starting out with AI content tools. What about the team plan? Who's that for?
Yeah, as you might guess, it's designed for teams who are working together on content. That one's $115 a month, or $97 a month if you bill annually. And it supports up to 3 users.
Okay.
And the review actually highlighted the document sharing features, how easy it is to share things back and forth. It said those were a huge plus for teams.
All right. So whether you're working solo or as part of a team, there's a plan for you. But you mentioned earlier that Phrase.io might not be the perfect fit for everybody. What if someone tries it and realizes it's just not their thing? Are there other AI content tools out there worth considering?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the review actually talked about a few alternatives like MarketMuse, Surfer SEO, Jasper AI, and ScaleNut.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, and each of these has its own strengths and kind of focuses on different things.
Can you give us a quick rundown of how they compare to Phrase.io? Like what makes each one stand out?
Sure. So MarketMuse is really known for its in-depth content research and planning capabilities. It goes beyond just basic keyword optimization. It actually helps you create content that fits into your overall content strategy.
Oh, wow.
Taking into account things like what your audience is interested in and what your competitors are doing.
So if I'm really looking for a more strategic approach to content planning, MarketMuse might be the way to go.
Yeah, possibly. If you're more focused on the kind of nitty-gritty of on-page optimization, Surfer SEO is another popular choice. It analyzes the top-ranking pages for your keywords and then gives you really detailed suggestions on how to improve your content so you can rank higher.
Oh, interesting.
Looking at things like keyword density, heading structure, even backlink analysis.
So MarketMuse is like the strategic mastermind, and Surfer SEO is like the on-page optimization guru.
Okay, I'm following. What about Jasper AI and ScaleNut? Where do they fit in?
So Jasper AI is a really popular AI writing assistant. It's known for generating content that sounds really human-like.
Oh, cool.
And it can do it in all kinds of formats, like blog posts, marketing copy, social media posts, even scripts.
Wow, that's a lot. It's gotten a lot of attention because it can write in different tones and styles. So you can get a conversational tone, a formal tone. You can even make it sound kind of funny if you want.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if I'm maybe struggling with writer's block or just need help writing something that sounds like, an actual person wrote it, Jasper AI could be a good option.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're looking for more of an all-in-one platform that combines AI writing with SEO tools, then ScaleNet is another good one to check out.
Okay.
It tries to streamline the whole content creation process from coming up with ideas and creating outlines to writing, optimizing, and even distributing your content.
Wow. It sounds like there's an AI content tool for literally everything these days. But with so many options, it can be kind of overwhelming, right? Like, how do you even know where to start?
Yeah, I get it. It's definitely a lot to take in. I think the best thing to do is start by figuring out what you're struggling with the most when it comes to creating content. Like, what are those pain points?
Yeah.
Are you having trouble coming up with ideas, or is it the outlining? The writing itself, the SEO part.
Right.
Once you know what those are, you can start narrowing down the options.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So define your goals, figure out your budget, and then explore the tools that fit your needs and the stuff you're struggling with.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to take advantage of those free trials to actually try out the different tools before you commit to anything.
Free trials are definitely your friend when you're navigating this whole new world.
Yeah.
But going back to phrase.io for a second, the review did mention it can handle a pretty high volume of content. Can you talk about that a bit more? Like, what makes it so efficient for teams or businesses who have to produce a lot of content?
Yeah, the review really highlighted that Phrase.io's workflow is really streamlined and that it has some great collaborative features.
Oh, yeah.
Those are key reasons why it can handle such a high output. The outline builder and the AI writer, they can really speed up the research and drafting process.
Okay, yeah.
And then things like shared workspaces and how easy it is to share documents, those make it really simple for teams to work together seamlessly.
So it's not just about the AI doing all the work. It's about the platform itself being designed for efficiency and collaboration from the ground up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where Phrase.io really shines for those teams with a lot of content to produce. It's like having this well-oiled machine that takes care of all the tedious stuff so your team can focus on, the strategy, the creativity, and really refining the message.
That does sound pretty ideal. But with all this talk about AI and automation, I can't help but wonder, where does the human element fit into all of this? Are we just turning into button pushers, letting the robots do all the thinking?
That's a huge question, and it's something that people are talking about a lot right now. And while these tools are incredibly powerful, they're not meant to completely replace human creativity and ingenuity.
Okay.
They're more like partners, helping us work smarter, not harder.
So it's about finding that balance, using the AI, but still making sure there's that human touch that makes content engaging.
Exactly. AI can do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to research, outlining, even drafting. But it's those human elements, the personality, the emotional connection, the unique perspective, those are the things that really resonate with readers.
I like that. It's not man versus machine, it's man with machine.
Yeah.
We each bring something different to the table.
Absolutely. The future of content creation isn't about choosing one or the other. It's about finding ways to seamlessly integrate them and create something even better.
That's a much more optimistic view than I think a lot of people have about AI, but it makes sense. We've seen this happen in other industries, right? Technology doesn't always replace jobs, it just changes them, creates new opportunities, and forces us to adapt and evolve.
For sure. Think about the printing press, right? It completely revolutionized how we produced and consumed information, but it didn't eliminate the need for writers and editors and storytellers. In fact, it opened up so many new possibilities and allowed written content to reach a wider audience.
So it's not some dystopian future where robots have taken over all the writing jobs. It's about learning to work alongside these tools and using them to our advantage.
Exactly. The key is to see AI as an opportunity for growth and innovation. If we understand its strengths and its limitations, we can really use it to make ourselves better at what we do and create even more compelling and impactful content.
Okay, I like that. So instead of fearing the robot uprising, we should be thinking about how to partner with these AI tools and really level up our content game. But before we get too carried away thinking about the future, let's bring it back down to earth for a minute. For our listeners who are trying to choose the right AI content tool, what are some key things they should keep in mind?
Well, I think the most important thing is to really think about what your goals are. What are you actually hoping to achieve by using an AI content tool? Are you trying to get higher rankings in search results? Do you just need help coming up with content ideas? Are you trying to automate some of the actual writing? Or maybe it's a little bit of everything.
Right, so know what you're trying to accomplish before you jump into the deep end of the tool pool. What else?
Definitely got to consider your budget. These AI content tools, they can range from being totally free to try out to subscriptions that cost hundreds of bucks a month. So it's important to figure out what you can realistically afford and find something that fits your budget.
Yeah, budget's always a huge factor, especially for smaller businesses or people who are just doing their own thing. Anything else our listeners should be thinking about?
Oh yeah, for sure. Your tech skills and how comfortable you are with learning new software. Some of these tools are way easier to use than others. So if you're not super tech savvy, you probably want something that's got a simpler interface, maybe some good tutorials, and easy access to support if you need help.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, you don't want to waste time trying to figure out how to use the tool when you could be creating content, right?
Exactly. And then another thing is to think about the kind of content you need to create. Some tools are better for specific formats, whether it's blog posts, marketing copies, social media stuff, long-form articles. So make sure you choose a tool that aligns with what you're actually creating and where you're planning to share it.
So we've got goals, budget, tech skills, types of content. That's a lot to consider. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners as we wrap up this deep dive?
I think the main thing is don't be afraid to experiment a little. This whole AI content tool landscape, it's changing all the time. There are new tools popping up left and right. Take advantage of those free trials, play around with different tools, see what works for you and what helps you achieve those goals you set. You might be surprised how much these tools can actually help you and free up your time so you can focus on the bigger picture.
I love that. Experimentation is key, especially when you're dealing with something as fast-moving as AI. Well, this has been a fascinating look at Phrase.io and how it's shaking things up in the content world. Before we sign off, let's recap some of the key things we've learned.
All right, so we learned that Phrase.io is a pretty powerful tool with a lot to offer, especially if your focus is on SEO and creating really high-quality content. It can help you streamline your research, optimize your content so it ranks well, and even help you generate content with those cool features like the Outline Builder, Content Scorer, and AI Writer.
Right, and it seems like it's pretty user-friendly and has great customer support, but we also have to remember those potential downsides like the cost, the learning curve, and needing to have a good internet connection.
Yeah, definitely. We also talked about some other awesome tools like MarketMuse, Surfer SEO, Jasper AI, and ScaleNut, each with its own strengths and things it's best for. It really comes down to figuring out the right tool for what you need to do.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Phrase.io and all things AI content tools, we want to leave you with something to think about. Considering all the pros and cons we've discussed and all the different options out there, how do you see AI fitting into your own content creation process? What are the parts of content creation that you find the most challenging? And do you think an AI tool could be the solution you've been looking for?
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Hit us up on social media and let us know what you think. Until next time, happy content creating.